Hello, welcome to a Stranger Things Season 2 review. A much anticipated series for me. I absolutely love Season 1. I think I gave it one of the highest rating as far as Netflix original series. The Netflix launched the series at 3 a.m. Eastern Time this morning. I thought about staying up and watching it at 3, but when I found out it's gonna be 3 a.m. instead of midnight Eastern Time because I had to wait for midnight West Coast time, I decided to go to bed like I normally do, but wake up at 4 o'clock. So I normally wake up between 5 and 6 anyway, so I set myself and also I woke up at 4 to watch the series. Okay, this is gonna be the spoiler-free portion of the review. I will go into some spoilers maybe at the end. I will give a warning, so if you haven't seen it, you can skip that part when I give the warning that I will go into some spoiler. It was highly anticipated, and I must say the first 3 episodes disappointed me. I did not like the first 3 episodes whatsoever. Maybe my expectation was too high. Season 1 ended on such a high note that in many ways I can see how hard it is to season 2 to pick up because it's tough to follow season 1. Okay, but regardless, I just felt that the first 3 episodes was really not all that interesting. There was a lot of time spent introducing mainly the new characters, and it drags for me. I felt that the season picked up around midpoint on episode 4, and by episode 5 I was actually enjoying watching it. To be honest, after the first 3 episodes, and it is roughly 7 o'clock, I was kind of mad for waking up at 4 o'clock to watch the show because I felt that I wasted 3 hours of my time waking up so early, and then the show did not live up to my expectation. Sean Astin character is probably a decent addition. There was a young girl and her stepbrother. In the first season, the bully that was in the first season, he become the cooler guy by the end of first season, right? So I don't think it was necessary for this series to introduce another worse, bigger bully. So that was not something, so I did not like the brother. The sister I'm okay with. I think the sister, the young actress did a decent job. Not a problem there. But Paul Reiser, I did not like his character once again. I felt his character was another bad addition to the show. On top of that, the addition of other storyline in the very beginning. If you haven't seen the show yet, in the very first episode, they introduced another element to the storyline that I felt was completely unnecessary. To me, that storyline could have been completely written out of the story, and this show could have been 7 episodes instead of 9. Okay, it's only 9 episodes, but to me, it's almost too many because between episode 1 and 4, there's a whole lot of wasted plot that I don't think was useful or necessary, and I didn't care for it. If I have to give the rating for the show, I would give the show, the first 4 episodes, a 6 out of 10. Okay, that's a really low mark compared to what I gave the first season. The last 5 episodes, starting with episode 5, start to pull me in. It start to get interesting. It start to focus more on the meat of the story, the part of the story that we care about first season. And I think it ended on a high note. Okay, I think the last 5 episodes I would give it an 8.5, and then the first 4 episodes only get a 6 from me. And then if I had to average it out, I think the show dropped from the highest grade of say a 10 out of 10 on season 1 to about maybe at best an 8 out of 10 for me. So I'm glad that the last 5 episodes pick up and I enjoy it more, but still it was a slight downgrade. The one thing the show did very well in the first season was the use of the prop, the 80s music, the 80s clothing, everything. A lot of homage that was done very well. I felt in season 2 it was almost too much, as far as music. I mean, there was a lot of 80s music, and I love 80s music, okay? I love hearing Loverboy, Pat Benatar, and you name it. I love all of that. But to me, it was almost too much using of music in many scenes where, if it's no dialogue, it seemed like this music in the background, and I feel like that was unnecessarily done too much. Sure, the few occasions where they infuse the Stranger Things sci-fi music, it sounds great. It fit in with the episode, but I can use a little less 80s rock or punk in many of the episodes. But overall, I think that what makes the first season work really well is how likable and believable the kids are. I think in the second season, some of the characters, some of the kids didn't work very well. The one with the curly hair, that his character was really I cringe at many of his lines. I mean, I think the dialogue certainly didn't go across very well for me compared to the first season. It's hard to rate the show and not compare it with the first season. But for me, something was lost in some of the kids. When Mike and Elle is on the screen, they shine. Okay, I think both those young actors, the chemistry, you feel it. I feel it as far as the chemistry between them. Winona Ryder, I think, was the best improvement from season 1. I think in season 1 she was just this mom that was constantly crying and hysterical. But in season 2, in this season, I think her character was much more assertive in making decisions and trying to be tougher, and it works. I like it. David Harbour, the sheriff, he started out on the weak side, and he eventually picked up, and he was more likable to me. But the first 3 or 4 episodes, I didn't care for his character very much. I thought many of the things that he was doing didn't make any sense, or I didn't like. But overall, I can barely give this show an 8 out of 10, which is something that I would recommend people to watch. But I would love to hear other people's opinion if they share the same feeling that this season was not as good as the first season. Okay, so now I will go into some spoiler. Okay, some spoiler. So if you haven't seen the show, stop right here, because I will go into discussion of some of the spoilers. First up, as I mentioned in the previous part, I detest the storyline with her sister. Not needed, a waste of time for me. Okay, in the first season, the very first 2 or 3 minutes pull you in with suspense. And I feel that this show, this season, the first episode, the use of an action sequence to trying to pull you in didn't work for me. In fact, I hate the whole Hollywood formula of using action sequence in the beginning of a movie or TV show to pull you in. I hate that formula. It used to be just James Bond that does that, but now everybody in every genre is trying to do that. At least it seemed to me. But still, regardless of that action sequence, I just didn't care for that whole storyline with her sister and her gang's crew. Not needed. Waste of time. Second, how did David Harbour character, the sheriff, know that 11 is out there to leave food in a little box in the forest? I might have to rewatch season 1 just to see why he does that, because the fact that 11 basically came back from the down under, the upside down, right after the big event in season 1. So she was right there, but how did he know that she's alive to give her food? So that whole storyline where he found her and he's kept a secret in that makeshift shack, and many of their conversation and fighting and argument, that didn't really work for me, because I think that is, I don't know, it's my feeling about the first 3 or 4 episodes. As I watch it, I'm just like, just move along. I was disappointed. I'm just like, just get to the meat of the story. This is not important. And then the big bully brother, nonsense. I guess, like I said, just because you change the one bully from the first season, there is no need to introduce another idiot, another a-hole into the show. So that was another storyline that I can say can do without. But the part that was cringe-worthy for me was, I was not all that crazy about the boy. I can't remember his name, but the one with the curly hair that had the little creature. Okay, it's convenient that little creature is in his trash can. Whatever, okay, that's fine. If you want to somehow introduce that, there's a stray little creature that somehow ended up in his trash can, it's a miracle. But what even a bigger miracle is the fact that when they were at the end, on the last episode, when they in the tunnel, out of the hundreds of these creatures, his is the one that they ran into. He seriously recognized, and that beast recognized him, and they have an exchange and give the candy bar. Oh, good God, that was stupid. That whole scene could have been cut out. It's dumb. Okay, that was cringe-worthy for me. I did not care for that. As I mentioned before, when Mike and Elle is on the screen, they shine. In the moment that they first met, reunite, fantastic, great tension. Okay, love it. So overall, I'm slightly disappointed that the first 4 episodes was not very good, but I'm glad that the last 5 picked up and make it so that it is a fun series still. If the last 5 episodes continue the same trend as the first 4, it would. I could not imagine season 3. But thankfully, I think they did a good job. They find their footing halfway through the season. So that's my review. If you disagree, be nice. Bye bye.